Okay, awesome. So, the way this is going to work, um, I was originally going to do all of this in Audacity, but I decided I don't hate myself that much, so I am going to be using Reaper. Um, the rules essentially for this challenge are I'm going to attempt to make 100. We'll see if that ends up actually happening. Gonna do my best. Within reason, they have to be not, they have to be as different from each other as I can manage. I can use any plugins that don't inherently change the entire structure of the sound. So I can run it through any sort of plugin I want that modifies it, like even things like Pulse Stretch or X Stretch in this case, which modify it pretty heavily, but I couldn't just like take a tenth of a second sample of it and then run that through a sampler that basically turns it into a synth and then do something with that synth to make it into a drone or something like that. Like, I can layer as many Wilhelm screams as I want and I can do whatever I want to them, but it has to be just modifying a Wilhelm scream. It can't be turning a Wilhelm scream into some sort of synth and then playing something with that and then doing something different. Because at that point, you can sample anything and turn it into something. It's not really a Wilhelm scream challenge anymore. So that's pretty much that. All right, I guess here we go. Just gonna get started. This is gonna be interesting. So let's take this, and you know what it'd be. First step is always going to be Pulse Stretch. Probably won't use Pulse Stretch for every single one of these, but the vast majority of them are going to be Pulse Stretched. Take loop off of there, and then we're just going to toss this in. Oop. So for starters, I'm going to start very, very simple and just I'm just going to set this to like 11 and just do what Pulse Stretch does best. Let's see if this will preview. My computer's outdated at this point, so I might have to render it for it to even work, but yeah, it does look like that's what I'm going to have to do. And I'm going to do it the easy way. Oh. Stereo. Okay. Why are you... You should not be doing microphone at all. That's not correct. What did I do? That's routed. I'm recording output. Why? Did I completely forget how to use this program, or is something not working? The fuck? Okay, we're recording output, and it's still... Why? I know I'm doing this right. I've never had this issue before. Okay, well, I'm just going to do this instead. I guess that's what it's come down to. All right. We've got yeah, that's what I'm that's what I'm doing when I drag this route over here, and that's always just worked. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't usually keep monitoring my mic input. It just doesn't do anything. So I don't know what's going on there. But whatever, I'll just do it the slightly slower way. I think I might have been having this issue the other day because I have like a vague memory of doing this slower process for one of my gigs. But regardless, it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. Okay, so I've got this insanely stretched Wilhelm scream. Right off the bat, I'm hearing some pretty nice harmonics in the high end, so I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this, and I'm going to bring those out a bit on one of the layers. Just going to sew this out for a second. Sounds like they're more... bring out a little bit of the mids too. There we go. Okay, that's a good starting point. I think I'm actually going to duplicate this one more time. Never mind, I'm going to duplicate this track so I can keep my effects going. I'm going to just pitch this one down a little bit, and then layer that with the original. Bring everything down. Do I even need this top layer? Yeah, that causes a lot of distortion when they're together. Yeah, I think it's fine as like an underlayer. Adds a little bit to it. Alright, that's a pretty good starting point. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the original again. I'm going to toss on some reverb. I'm going to up the intensity a bit. I want this to be pretty heavily masked. Going to up the intensity a lot, actually. Put it about there. Alright. And then I'm gonna just render this track out. Delete that because I don't actually care about losing it. Just going to reverse this. I'll trim it about there. Put this down a little bit. Okay. Off to a pretty solid start there. Just going to mute this for a second. Alright. Right. I better save this to that folder. Yeah, no worries, man. There will be a VOD. I hope everything's okay with your wife's car and everything. But yeah, totally understandable. Thanks for stopping by, regardless. Have a good one, man. Alright, so that's got a nice effect. I'm gonna go ahead and just render this out and make sure I have it render into a new track. I'm just gonna scale it up a little bit. Scream 1, layer 1. Yeah, and that can just be in the main project. All right, now I'm just going to go into Ozone 9 here. Right, let's do some stereoization. Yeah, there was some good stuff. Let's move that here. I feel like this had more high end. We'll put that at about 600. Actually, yeah, we'll put it about 1K. And we'll leave this at 3K. We don't really need to stereoize the bass as much. I want to really bring out a little bit of these mids and then a lot of these highs. Whoops. Helps if you solo out the one you're actually working on. Definitely hear the remnants of Scream in there, but I kind of like that, honestly. Let's toss some compression on this before the stereoization. And actually, we can probably EQ it a little more too. I don't want to spend too much time on each of these, or there's no way I'm getting anywhere near 100, but... That's good. Alright, let's mess with our OTT a bit. This is a pretty aggressive compression, but I still like it for everything, because if you just turn the depth down, it behaves pretty normal still. There's a bit of that hiss at the high end. Yeah, a bit too much hiss at the high end, so I'm going to bring down the intensity of that a little bit, bring out the mids a lot, bring down the bass just a tad. It's got a nice kind of lo-fi feel to it. Alright, and then we're just going to add another layer of reverb right here. Right, that's... this does not have a way to just turn the gain down, does it? Shit. Okay, so... let's open Ozone back up. Let's bring down the gain a bit here. Still a bit high. Turn it down just a little more. I'm definitely not going to be able to get through all of these realistically. There will probably be multiple streams just because this one took so long to get started. I used up most of the time I had set aside to stream, but it is what it is. It's soloed out. I will be putting all of these into like a pack that will be on freesound or wherever, completely royalty free, because yeah, otherwise what's the point, really? Actually, this doesn't need a tail at all. Right, let's just do a new folder, and we'll just call it Finished Screams. This will be Scream 1. We'll go ahead and render that out. Okay, 1 and done. 99 to go. Why did I think this was a good idea? I don't know. I need to render that in here. Okay. Now we're just going to get all out of all of this and start the process over. Let's this time let's go to like just an absolute fuck you length, because that's really what pulse stretch is all about. We'll just call this stretch 2, render it out, toss it in here. Okay. It's baseline, that's good, but I do want to shift it. Actually, no, we don't want to frequency shift it that much. Let's frequency shift it like -250. Let's pitch shift it. Let's pitch shift it a full octave down. Just really get those low ends going. Just render it again. I don't think it'll overwrite. I think it'll just replace. It sure will. That's fine. Ooh, there we go. Okay, that is a good starting point. Let's see what we can do with it here. This definitely has a lot more of that low end coming through. I'm just gonna boost that up a bit, or a lot. Really get that rumble going. We're gonna cut off the low end entirely, but bring up these high mids a bit, or the high end entirely, I meant. There we go. Is that actively clipping? That is actively clipping. Let's turn the gain down a bit. Honestly, like, as an ambience, this is pretty solid already. I feel like I can just do some processing to it, and we can probably get number 2 out of the way pretty quick. Just a little bit of compression here. Really get that rumble in there. Yeah, I think that's pretty good as is. All right. Got that going on. I'm gonna save because this does crash Reaper sometimes. Okay, this time we want to really maximize that low end. Still gonna go to about 300. Then we'll do 1K, 3K. We don't need to stereoize 3K at all. We're gonna boost up the bass all the way in terms of stereoization. Get those mids up pretty good. Those high mids a bit more. Because there was some good kind of harmonics and artifacting happening up there. We're going to leave the high end alone because I mostly just EQ'd it out anyway. Okay, that's good. We are going to turn down the gain a bit because it's currently hitting 0, which means as soon as I put on reverb, it's going to start clipping like crazy. Probably not as much reverb on this one. Okay, we can bring that up a little more. We can just reset that. That should be good. Oh, still some clipping happening towards the end there. Got a little overzealous, turning the gain back up. Bring it back down. Alright, for a single layer of Wilhelm Scream, that's pretty damn good. I think we can call that a success. Just gonna name this Scream 2. 98 to go. Definitely not getting through all of these today. Oh, you lied to me. Damn it. Okay. I probably have something that's automatically preventing it from clipping in. No, because it was earlier. That's fine. I'll just turn this down a little bit more. Render it again. Overwrite. There we go. No clipping. That looks good. I had to completely basically reinstall Windows because of a malware issue I had recently, so a lot of my settings got reset, and I don't completely remember where I had them all, but alas, it seems to be doing fine. So now we go back to Paul Stretch, our good old trusted friend. Or do we? Actually, we're going to do something a little different with this one. We're just going to slow it down. Why not? Live life on the edge. Let's see what happens. Just turn off preserve pitch. Set the playback rate to, let's do 0.25. Hit apply. Just drag this out. That sounds ridiculous. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. Let's see. Trim the beginning there. There we go. All right, there's one aspect of it done. Sounds like a motorcycle at this point. Okay, let's see. Trust me, guys, I got this. I've done weirder, believe it or not. I'm gonna just cut it off right there. Okay, so first things first, let's just give her some reverb. A lot of it. Okay. Now we're going to duplicate this track. We're gonna render this one, because I could have just rendered it and unmuted it, but oh well. Reverse that. Bring this over here. Hey, how's it going? I'm based off of your profile picture, I think I know who I'm talking to, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Okay. It's got a nice sort of growl going on there. Just gonna do another layer of reverb here. As is, I'm happy with that. That's a pretty good little drone. Alright, get rid of these. That's 3 done. This is definitely going to be a multi-episode project. Anyone who, it looks like I have no viewers right now, but anyone who's watching the VOD later, I am going to be uploading with some frequency again. Also, links in the description, Twitter, Instagram, my website. I am going to start posting on my social media regularly again. Another announcement, I've released a couple games like for game jams and stuff. I'm working on my first serious 3D project, which is, for now, for the time being, going to be called In Plain Sight. It's a horror game with a grayscale sketched childlike art style. It's oh, sorry, my cat's on my keyboard. It's based loosely off of some like recent concepts like the Mandela catalog and some cool stuff like that. The reason I bring it up is that I am going to be posting devlogs here on my YouTube channel for it and just general announcements. I might do some like fly on the wall live streams to show the development. And if you would like to see more behind the scenes of it as it develops, such as unimplemented assets and even getting access to early development builds of the game, I do have a Patreon, which is also in the description. I've heavily neglected it since I made it, but I am going to start posting on it regularly, whether or not I have any patrons, because I did kind of realize that if you go to give someone money and they don't have anything posted, you're not going to assume that it's going to be. So expect to see more there. If anyone wants to check it out, you're more than welcome to, and I would greatly appreciate it. The more support that I get on some of these games, the faster or more time I can dedicate to developing them instead of my other more monetary projects. But it's something I definitely want to be able to focus on, so expect more content related to that in the near future. And yeah, all the links are down there, so just announcements out of the way. Just wanted to bring that up to anyone who cares. So now we're back into Paul Stretch. We're now just going to go a little psychotic with this. Okay, we do not need it to be 41 minutes long. Or is that still... No, that's still 41 seconds. Why... Hello? Why is the stretch no longer doing anything? Excuse me? Oh, because it's muted. That will make a big difference, Kieran. Genius on that one. Okay, so yeah, 23 minutes long is a bit overkill, but let's do something like 100. We don't necessarily need to use the full 2 minutes. Then we're going to frequency and pitch shift it all the way down. This is just utter chaos. Wouldn't be right if I didn't do at least one of these. I'm gonna try to get to like 5, but that's probably all I'm gonna be able to do. Yeah, that's a whole other level. Holy shit. Okay. So right off the bat, this does not need to be as long as it is. We got the stretch really good, but now I'm just going to shrink it back down with preserve pitch. That's funky. All right, let's see. First off, I just want to toss some reverb on this and see how it affects some of those weirder artifacts. I'm really liking the artifacting on this. Okay. So, let's get rid of that for a second. I'm just gonna save this in case it crashes. Yeah. So let's start off with just a little bit of basic EQ. Just gonna really take out that high end, bring up the mids a little bit to give it a bit more just personality. There we go. Let's see. Now I'm gonna toss on a neoverb. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually reverse it first. Properties, reverse. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just do that. Then let's go ahead and render it. And the reason I let it loop like this is at the end of the loop is just, or the beginning of the loop when it's reversed is just silence anyway. And so that way it can just have a little bit of a tail, or a reverse tail in this case. We can go ahead and get rid of that whole track. Going to reverse this back. There we go. That way we've just got that little bit of build-in. Sounds really nice with ambience. Okay. Then we're just gonna add some ozone. Stereoize this a bit. This is pretty much all low end, so we're gonna keep this all fairly low. Going to crank these up pretty much in reverse order, low to high. And then just add another layer of neoverb on top of it. crank that up to full. Beautiful. This is why I love, just absolutely love Paul Stretch and Paul X Stretch, which is just the VST version using the same source code, but it kind of puts it on steroids. Just such an insanely powerful plugin, and it just adds so much depth and texture to something as basic as a Wilhelm scream. Like, the fact that the idea that this was able to become this. Just trying to get rid of some of that clipping here, but yeah, it's just absolute insanity. Alright, that's another one done. This 4, I'm probably going to do one more for today, but I have the stream set up pretty well now, so I can at least move on to the next one a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm basically just going to take the original Paul Stretch of that one that I just made, but I'm going to layer it with one that's the inverse, just pitched way up. Which might be absolutely horrific. We'll find out. Not necessarily in the way that I want it to be either, but let's see. Separate tracks. Yeah. That's about what I was expecting to happen, if I'm honest, but let's see. Seeing as I do need to get going and wrap this up, this is kind of a cool, like, lo-fi ominous wind sort of effect. I'm going to just leave this here. I know that's a little lazy, but again, I spent about an hour just trying to get this stream working, over an hour. By the time it's all said and done, it was about an hour and a half of just setting up the stream, getting it working, balancing my audio levels, just all of that BS that I had to go through to get it to work. So unfortunately, what was going to be, you know, a 2 or 3 hour stream ended up being only about an hour. Just because of a variety of circumstances, I didn't even get to starting setting up the stream as early as I would have liked. But nonetheless, it is what it is. It looks like people are starting to file in just in time for me to be kind of wrapping this up. I will be streaming this exact process again for the other, 95 sounds. This one unfortunately just didn't go quite as I had hoped, but regardless, I will be doing the rest. I will be doing the rest on stream because it's a lot easier than making a full video out of it, because I can kind of just press the stream button. This will be a VOD on my YouTube channel if you want to go through and watch the rest of them. Anyone who's just tuning in, there will be a VOD there. There will be more streams to come, more videos to come. Once again, links in the description for my social media and Patreon and whatnot. I am working on a new game, so expect to see some progress here on the channel about that. I'm going to start promotion very, very early this time because that's a mistake I've made with some of my games in the past, was not really trying to get anyone to even know that they existed until they were out. So definitely stay tuned for that. Just gonna render this out, and then I will be signing off. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.